Today, I'm going to give you 12 B2B marketing strategies that you can use inside of your business to effectively market it, set more appointments, no matter the niche, no matter the business that you're in. And these are strategies that I've used to grow my own B2B business to over $2 million a year consistently. So this isn't just some hypothetical fluff. These are battle-tested strategies that can work for you. So throughout this video, I'm going to reveal the 12 strategies and share exactly how you can start using them inside of your business to ultimately grow. So the B2B landscape has completely changed from what it used to be. When I first started B2B marketing over 10 years ago, it was simple to get appointments. It was easy to email people, get appointments, cold call people, get appointments, advertise and get appointments, but the game has completely changed. And the reason the game has changed so much is because these buyers are becoming more savvy and they are drowning in noise. And because of this, the traditional methods are harder and harder to actually get results from because the buyers are more savvy. They're doing more research. They have higher expectations of when we actually reach out to them or the advertisement that they actually see. According to Salesforce, 82% of buyers expect personalization when they're getting reached out to. Yet people just continue to spray and pray and hope that the old traditional tactics actually work for them. And in addition, it's getting more expensive to reach people. The cost per message, the cost per click, the cost per impression is significantly higher than it used to be because there's more competition entering the market. And when more competition comes, it becomes more expensive to get clicks, to get traffic, to actually get leads. And the real cost isn't your ad spend, the softwares that you're using, it's the time that you are investing in these tactics that just no longer work. If you're just continuing to spin your wheels, hoping what you're doing is actually going to work, you are wasting a ton of resources. Winning isn't just about shouting louder, getting in front of more people, making more touches. It is about precision, making sure that you're reaching out to the right people. It's about personalization, making sure that the customer feels like you're reaching out directly to them. It's about omni-channel approaches, making sure that you're seen everywhere, which builds trust, and leading with value so you can educate the customer so that they trust you and ultimately will do business with you because people work with who they know, like, and who they trust. So let's break it down and get into the 12 strategies that achieve this that you can implement inside of your business. Strategy number one is founder-led content. Basically, you as the founder of the business, creating a personal brand to build connection. I think this is a huge asset and a huge opportunity for a lot of B2B marketers. One thing that crushed for us when we scaled our agency was me building my personal brand. I would say that's contributed to multiple seven figures just by having a presence. In fact, I think back, one of our largest retainers, multiple five-figure deal retainer, came from LinkedIn because the person that reached out to us saw our content and thought that we were trustworthy and we could get the job done for them, which we did. And the reality is that 64% of consumers trust founder content rather than just this corporate content, because if you're just posting all these weird graphics or infographics, that's not going to build the connection that's going to build trust. That's ultimately going to get you to the appointment, which will ultimately grow your business. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm not charismatic, I'm not a content creator, I'm just a founder of this business and I'm really good at the business. You can just focus on documenting and really just adding value to your customers. And honestly, unscripted content or raw content typically outperforms this cinematic feel because it builds that connection with the audience. And as far as content goes, you can talk about why you added a specific feature to your business. You can talk about how XYZ target customers are winning by using the specific product or service that you have. You can do day in the life videos. And as far as filming, you can use a tool like Riverside, which films in 4K, or simply just use your phone. What I would do is I would time block maybe 2 hours a month and plan out 8 videos that you want to shoot and maybe 4 different posts that you want to post that can add value. And with AI, with ChatGPT, with Claude, with all these different tools, writing content and creating scripts has never become easier. Strategy number 2 is going to be email automation and lead nurturing. And what this is basically automating the ability to stay in front of customers via email. This is something that we use a ton to our list to consistently add value and consistently stay in front of our target customer so that we're omnipresent and we're adding value to them. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to collect an email or have somebody book a call with us and they never hear from us again. Because when it comes to B2B sales, a lot of the decision making is about timing. And if we can be top of mind to the client when they're thinking, oh, I need XYZ service, who am I going to think about? Well, it's going to be the person that's been constantly sending me emails. And a lot of people are like, oh, people just unsubscribe or they're not going to read the emails. The fact is that they're not going to read the emails or they're going to unsubscribe if the emails that you're sending are in fact pointless. So what we do is we're consistently adding value in the email. We're not just blasting our products, selling us, trying to book a call every single time in the emails. And our open rate and our click-through rates on our nurtured email campaigns are banger. And when we book a call, they have a lot of context on what we do. They know exactly what we've been adding value in the context of the services that we offer. So they come in warmer than ever. So what I would do and what we do is we use a tool like ActiveCampaign. And basically when somebody books a call, when somebody opts in for a specific thing that we're marketing from like a lead magnet perspective, they get added to the list. And from that, we're sending emails consistently. For us, it's literally 5 days a week. But for you to make it digestible, what I would do is I would maybe just write like a weekly email, time block once a month to write 4 different emails that you can then blast out to people that add value to them. Don't try to sell in the emails all the time. Don't try to just sell your services, try to book a call. Just simply go into it looking to add value. Strategy number 3 is to co-market and build partnerships. This is something that has again contributed to multiple 6 figures in revenue just through partnerships. And what this means is basically partnering up with a non-competitor, partnering up with someone who has an audience that you want to tap into that you can in fact leverage. What we did that worked extremely well was we were targeting a lot of people in the real estate space. So we worked with a lot of mortgage companies because the mortgage companies, their client is also real estate agents. So what we would do is we would lead webinars, we would lead lunch and learn for that mortgage company to tap into their audience of the real estate agents as well as the mortgage companies. In addition, we would also partner up with organizations who had a network of a lot of the businesses that we would want to serve. That could be an association of some sort, that could be a group of some sort, and we would partner with them to then get exposure on our brand by adding value to the customers of that specific group. Not only did that give us a massive audience, but it gave us massive trust to the audience because we're pretty much getting an endorsement from these different companies. What you can think about is who can I build associations with? Who can I partner with to add value to them, to add value to their customers perhaps, and build that association with your brand, which ultimately builds more trust so that you get that endorsement and ultimately you're adding value to people and there's that feeling of reciprocity and it'll basically be a layup for you getting new leads for your business. Strategy number 4 is going to be long form content on YouTube. YouTube is the second most trafficked website behind Google. If people are searching for tips around how to get the outcome that you provide for the customers, we want to show up first because what happens if we are able to show up on YouTube, they consume the video, that trust factor goes through the roof because people need to consume content to be convinced that you can actually be the person that helps them out. This is one of the most authority-driven things that we can do as B2B marketers to build trust, to add value. And guess what? What you can do with those videos is you can leverage them in your newsletter, leverage them in conversations, leverage them in social media posts so that people watch the video. And if they watch the video, they will trust you more, you'll be more omnipresent, and they'll be more likely to book a call with you. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't know how to do YouTubes. I don't know how to create this content. This is just gonna take so much time. Again, guys, what we can do is we can batch record. So plan out 4 different videos. You're the subject matter expert. It shouldn't take too long for you to actually come up with these ideas and film the training, film the guides on how you can ultimately just add value to the target customer that you have. And then in addition, there's a huge network of video editors that can help you edit. So all you really need to do is film the video, use a tool like Riverside. You can use your webcam for now if you're just getting going, or you can invest in equipment if you want to up the quality, but this will be a game changer to building trust and building you as an authority. So what I would do is I would just simply go on YouTube and research people who are talking about what it is that you offer. And then from there, I would pretty much try to repurpose those videos and make them my own. And then you can optimize titles and descriptions using tools like vidIQ and all these AI tools out there that help optimize your YouTube. And the hardest part with YouTube is to just press record. So I encourage you to just press record, get after it. The first one's always going to be the hardest, but after the first one, you'll learn a lot and you'll be able to go from there. Strategy number 5 is going to be cold email outreach. So this is a tactic that we've used a ton, which has generated, again, multiple 6 figures, probably 7 figures directly from cold email outreach by doing it correctly. And when I mean correctly, what we're doing is we're getting a large list and we're sending a high volume of emails to our targeted list. And why I've really loved cold email is because it's scalable. I can basically just get more emails to send to. It's automated. I don't need to manually send cold emails like what I used to do 10 years ago. And I know that I'm actually reaching out to the decision maker. In fact, 80% of CEOs prefer cold email over any sort of social ads because they're spending their time there. Like I know that if I send an email to a CEO, I know that I'm actually going to land inside of the inbox. And in addition, with the AI tools, I'm able to personalize the lines, automate it, make sure I'm using software that allows me to make my life super easy when responding to the cold emails. And the volume is just unmatched. And oftentimes when I mention cold email, they think, oh, this is going to be like so salesy, or oh, this is not going to be work, or oh, the cold email is dead. The reality is that bad cold emailing is dead. If you implement cold email correctly, you can get 5% reply rates on easy mode. So what I would do is I would get a tool like Instantly AI to manage all of your cold email. You can buy domains specifically in there according to how many emails you want to send every single day. Personally, I recommend 1,000 emails a day minimum. You can also build your list inside of Instantly AI using their lead finder, where you can actually find targeted prospects to reach out to. And you can manage all of your cold email campaigns simply inside of Instantly using their AI inbox, which sorts the emails, which sorts the responses and positive responses that you're getting. You can even use it as a CRM. And it's super easy to build campaigns, test different campaigns. You can actually have analytics. It is unmatched and gives us the data to ultimately book more calls using cold email, if in fact we're doing it correctly. And when it comes to copy, we're not just selling the cold emails, we are adding value in the cold emails. For example, you could add case studies and show them exactly the process of how you were able to get them from A to Z. What we like to do is we like to send them our agency operating system, which is a full system built out on Notion. At the end of the day, when it comes to what we're sending them, it just needs to be valuable to them, because what we want to do is we want to get them to raise their hand and show interest on what we have. So go check out Instantly. It's free to try out, and this will help you get more leads and ultimately more book calls and ultimately grow your business. Our strategy number 6 is going to be short form content, mainly LinkedIn, but Instagram and TikTok can be second, and even YouTube. So this is basically 60-second clips, less than 60-second clips on LinkedIn. And I would say, again, LinkedIn has so much power. That deal that I told you about earlier came from LinkedIn because I was consistently adding value through bite-sized clips, through educational pieces, which positioned me as an authority in the space. And the good thing with LinkedIn is becoming more and more of a social platform rather than just a place where I can find a job or a place where I can put my resume and hopefully somebody reaches out to me. So it is becoming more and more paramount to create content because it is becoming more of a content-led platform. And the beauty of LinkedIn is that professionals spend time there, and it's growing. So with LinkedIn, it is branded to be a professional audience. What I like to do is I like to time block a couple hours a month and write my scripts for the month. I either use my phone or I use a tool like Riverside to film in 4K. And then what I do is I send it over to an editor and they edit it. And basically I can post that content that they're editing for me. It has become easier and easier to create content, especially short form content being the winning type of content. Even on tools like LinkedIn, this is a no-brainer to get in front of your audience, build trust, and be omnipresent. Our strategy number 7 is going to be customer-led growth. So what we're doing is we're leveraging our customer base, leveraging the results that we've been able to get to them in order to get more referrals, in order to get more warm prospects, and ultimately build trust with our customers. This is something that we're really passionate about because there is power in testimonials. If somebody is considering your product, considering your service, and they go on your website and they see a huge list of video testimonials that you've been able to drive results for, they're going to see themselves in those customers. And basically that's a endorsement that you don't have to basically ask for a referral for, and that convinces them themselves. I would say over 90% of the customers that we work with have looked at our case study page and they've watched a lot of the videos, and that ultimately was the deciding factor to work with us because they saw themselves in the people that we're helping, and that reinforced the decision that I can do it too. Our strategy number 8 is going to be account-based marketing 2.0. So account-based marketing is pretty much like a sniper rifle to target your customers. 68% of customers using account-based marketing get higher ROI than traditional marketing because you're so precise. And what account-based marketing basically means is you're finding your ideal customer, you're learning a ton about them, and you are being precise with your outreach and really playing the long game. So this works for people who have high lifetime value customers, have really high ticket services, because it requires that type of approach to actually get responses. And a lot of people think, oh my gosh, this is too time consuming. It just makes more sense for me to reach out to 1,000 people a month rather than just 100 people. But the reality is there's tools like Demandbase out there that can make it way more efficient for you so that you can be more precise and have more data to then use to reach out to them and increase your likelihood of getting an actual response. And we call this like the Dream 100 list, where basically you have that list, you have a lot of information about them, and you're constantly feeding them value. You're constantly reaching out to them with precision to stay in front of them and to ultimately eventually get a deal. Our strategy number 9 is going to be meta ads for B2B lead generation. So basically this is doing an ad on Meta, which shows up on Instagram and Facebook, and ultimately driving them to actually get a lead. For us, this has driven 7 figures plus in the B2B space because Facebook has over 3 billion users and executives are using Facebook. They are using Meta. They are using Instagram. In fact, 64% of executives use this. And in addition, comparatively to other platforms, the cost per 1,000 is significantly cheaper than tools like LinkedIn. So how we've been able to use this is we've been able to create ads that add value to our B2B audience, and we're getting them to opt in for the specific thing that we're adding value, whether that's a lead magnet, whether that's some trainings that we're sending them over, basically to pinpoint our target customer. And a lot of people think, oh, Facebook's only for B2C or Instagram's only for B2C. But again, 3 billion people, 68% of executives say that they use it. We want to make sure that our ad is speaking to our ideal customer, which will filter our ideal customer. And in addition, with the targeting that Facebook and Meta has, is we can make sure that we're basically increasing the likelihood of us getting in front of our ideal customer through companies they work for, through interests. And if our creative speaks to our target audience, then we'll actually drive in our target audience. Our strategy number 10 is going to be events/webinars. Again, we've had a lot of success with this, where basically we would lead webinars, we would lead in-person lunch and learns, I would go speak at events. We actually even do a monthly workshop right now for B2B customers to learn more about what we do. And I can confidently say that with every workshop that we do, we at least get 2 deals from it. How we market it is, again, we're adding value. Hey, come join our webinar where we're going to share 4 tips on how to get desired outcome that our ideal customer wants. They register, they get on our email list, and then they join the workshop. They're able to interact with you, ask questions live, be able to see you, engage with you, and ultimately get value. And the people that are spending 30 minutes, an hour of their day to watch a webinar are high intent. A lot of people think, oh, nobody attends these events or no one's actually going to invest an hour of the day. And I thought the same thing, especially when we first did the event. And for us, what we did is, yeah, the first event wasn't amazing, but it compounded over time. We got better at marketing it in order to actually drive attendance. So for you guys, what I would think about is like, what is a monthly webinar that I could do? What's a quarterly webinar that I could do? You can even do something based like a 30-minute Ask Me Anything or office hours that don't require a lot of leeway for you. Our strategy number 11 is going to be SEO, or search engine optimization, which is basically optimizing your website so that it shows up when people are searching Google for what it is that you are actually offering to your customers. And this is important because today, more and more people are starting their search for services using Google. They're doing a lot of research, and Google being the #1 most trafficked site in the world, they're going to spend time on Google. They're going to basically search Google as a checkpoint in the buyer journey. So it's worth capturing the people who are actively searching what it is you have to offer. A lot of people think SEO just takes so much time. It is not worth investing in. What I would do is I would focus on low competition, high intent keywords to really focus on. So if you're selling cold email, don't try to rank for email or cold email. Rank for things like cold email for startups, which would be a little less competition than something like cold email. So how you can find this out is you can simply use a tool like Google Keyword Planner, and you can see the search volume for specific keywords associated with the service that you offer. From there, what you can do is you can start creating content around the keywords that people are actually searching for. I would look for around 500 plus searches. And in addition, I would make sure your meta titles and your descriptions are optimized to match the titles that you are in fact trying to rank for. And last but not least, strategy number 12 is going to be targeted outreach using LinkedIn or using a software like something like a HeyReach. And basically the power of this is with LinkedIn, you can use the advanced filters to find people at specific companies, to find people at specific job titles, to find people in specific locations. And there's so many different ways that you can create a really specific audience that you can then reach out to. It's kind of like the account-based marketing that we reached out to. We're able to get really, really specific on who we're then reaching out to. And what we've done is leading with the same principles that we've been talking about. We will find somebody on LinkedIn, we'll send them a connection request and say, hey, would love to connect. And after they accept the connection request, then what we do is we offer to add them the piece of value that we've been talking about. So what is the value that we can add in the DMs? We're not going straight for the kill. We're not going straight for, hey, let's book a call. We're simply offering to add value to that service-based business, to that business that you want to work with based off of the services that you can offer them and the outcomes that ultimately they want. And a lot of people think, oh my gosh, this is like so much time. This is going to take me forever to go through. But the reality is there's tools like HeyReach that can automate this whole process from from the connection, from the first message, from the second message, from the follow-up. So all you really need to do is just sit it and forget it based off of the targets that you've determined are your ideal customers. And the beautiful thing about this too is if they accept the connection request and we're doing all the strategies that we talked about, which one of them was creating content, then you're also going to be omnipresent from a trust building perspective, and they're going to see you a lot, which is ultimately going to build more trust with them, which is going to increase the likelihood of them actually responding to you. So those are the 12 B2B marketing strategies that you can implement this year to ultimately get more deals for your business. Earlier, I did talk about cold email marketing, and I personally believe it to be one of the top ways to get new customers because you're able to have precision targeting, you're able to add value at scale, and ultimately automate it so it doesn't drain a bunch of your time. And I believe in it so much that I challenged my friend Jake that I could start a service business from scratch and get my first deal within 10 hours. So click on the screen to watch the video of me starting a business from scratch and selling the service using cold email. And what you'll be able to also see is how you can implement the same exact strategies that I did inside of your business. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.